Caroline.
All right, Caroline from Las Vegas.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Guys, how are you guys doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We're good.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, because I had to change phones. I was listening on my landline, and it's kind of like going dead, so I had to go get my other phone.
Hey.
So if it's kind of sketchy,
That's why.
sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Anyway, I'm really glad to be like maybe the second to the last caller. I was very interesting this show. You guys really had a lot of ups and downs.
Yep.
Yeah, we do.
Yep. We had some down, sideways.
Oh, man.
What?
I was like listening, man. I was like, oh, you poor guys. All I can say is, and breathe, okay? Because now you guys got probably the last to the best caller, and I can just say I'm the plucky comic belief, okay? I'm going to make you happy.
You're going to replace me on the show, aren't you?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Jamie, you're irreplaceable. Caroline, you seem great, but
Right.
Jamie's my best friend.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What did you want to...
Yeah, I know. I understand. But I just want to make a shout out to the guys that called before me. Frood is his name.
Frood.
Yeah, he's on a quest to find love. Man, I wish him all the luck in the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of women out there.
It sounds like he found it. It sounds like he already found a relationship, which is amazing.
So,
Yeah.
But then again, when you live in a country that has a much better rate of non-belief and more
oh, yeah, they have a better
forward.
tolerance of it than we do here in the United States. Definitely. For sure. Yeah, that's our heaven, is living in Amsterdam or somewhere,
Right. But what would you want to talk about?
The second caller was Jordan, and I really feel for him because his father and him, I know he loves his dad. I can hear it in his voice,
Me too, yeah.
And this is a big turmoil for this young man, and I really feel for him. But, all I can tell him is a motto I used to go by when I was getting out of an abusive marriage was, where there's a will, there's a way out. And the same goes for Demi, okay? Where there's a will, there's a way out. Like you were talking to these two people, and they're so, when you're young, you're emotional. I mean, I'm 61, okay, and I've raised 4 kids and grandkids and been around a lot of young people, you guys' age and stuff, and it's like I see the turmoil young people are going through now because their world is not right and they don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
And the wrong people are not where they're supposed to be. And they're trying their best to do the moral and the right thing, and it's just confusing, and it hurts, and especially when it involves family. I know, been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
And what we're really trying to do is say that you can't do it alone, and we need to fix it together.
No, you can't.
So
You can't. And,
yeah.
I just wanted to call up, and my major thing was Mr. Charles there.
Mm-hmm.
Been there, done that, done what he did, outgrew it, went the opposite way, and now I'm sane. Okay.
Well,
So
no, he's sane.
He's sane.
Sane is a clinical term.
Yeah, he's just very wrong about the world. What I will say is, Caroline, did you have a near-death experience, and that's what prompted you?
Yes, I did. Remember I told you last week
That's
I was
right.
going to tell Charles.
Oh,
yes, because when you were saying to prove it, I can prove it. I can actually prove it. I have the medical records to prove it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's like there is, he says, what did he tell you?
They were about to put
going
the
into
sheet over
darkness?
or something. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going into darkness is what I think I heard him say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
think he said
like,
the
it
darkness,
is like
but-
darkness.
Yeah.
So
Well,
in the live chat, there's a little bit of confusion. Carolyn has been waiting this entire episode to talk.
I don't know how much time I have, guys. I know you guys, are on a timeline here.
But you had a
just wanted
question.
to point out.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did, because you guys saved my butt, okay?
Woo! Yay!
I was really
Happy to help.
scared last week because I didn't know if anybody from my church was listening in, because I have a couple of the younger pastors that listen into atheist talk shows.
Really?
Okay? I saw it when I walked into his office, and he had his computer screen up, and he was watching, I think it was the Atheist Experience.
Nice.
I'm not saying he's spying or anything, but I'm thinking maybe they want to try to understand
Which is awesome.
Well, I mean, they should
guys,
be.
who you guys are, you know? And they're trying to look at it from a point of love. I'm not trying to waste any time. My question is, came across some pastor notes, and it really bothers me regarding chapter Psalm 1.
Is that the happy is he who doesn't look into it?
Happy or blessed is he who doesn't sit in the seat of scorners and all that stuff.
The advice of the wicked, or stand in the pathway with sinners, or sit in the company of mockers. The opposite of what the New Testament says Jesus did. Cough, cough.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yes. Yeah, and so let me bring it here. I had it up. Hold on.
I have it as well, so it's...
So what his yearly thing this year is I'm not... He just posted this. It's a new devotional that he puts in, reading Psalm 1, and it goes, "What a great reminder for a brand new year. What should I avoid? I need to avoid the counsel of the ungodly." In other words, people like us, and around us everywhere on television, iPad, iPhone, news media. If I am surrounded with ungodly counsel, I will get depressed and frustrated, and I will not thrive. The second reason is I need to avoid standing in the way of sinners. I need to live my life differently than they live their life. I need to avoid sitting in the seat of the scornful. Scornful people mock me when I determine to live the way God wants me to live, because they think that atheists despise people like them. My pastor has preached stuff like this in the church congregation before, and I think it's hate speech. He also preaches against homosexuality. He thoroughly believes that homosexuality is a sin, as it says in Leviticus, and also in the New Testament. He is like, I was like Jamie was talking about earlier when he was talking about you're sitting in the congregation and you're looking at the person next to you and like, is he serious? And you want to get up and leave because you don't believe what he just came out of his mouth. And now I'm reading what he's posting here, and it says, "The promise to the ungodly, they will be like the chaff, unstable, blown to and fro from the wind." And then he's talking about how we're going to be a tree planted by rivers of living water that brings forth fruit, and we will prosper. It's like, how are you going to prosper by posting hate speech on Facebook like this?
That's the basis of Living Waters Ministry, actually.
That's where that's from. Okay.
So... the funny thing is, I really do hope they see this, because what's funny is the phrase sunlight is the best disinfectant, right? There's nothing that we can do to make a thing untrue or true.
Yeah,
a thing is true, completely independent of our opinion of it. And it really is tough to see when people instead don't embrace learning when something is false. And to be fair, people do. They shy away from it. They go, this makes me uncomfortable and makes me feel bad. This must be the Lord getting involved. In reality, right?
Yeah, it's what
in reality,
it's just a way of reassuring yourself to random conclusions that you come to, often for bad reasons.
Yeah.
Jesus.
What really happens is every time you are experiencing a time of growth, every time you're challenged and are looking at growing in your knowledge and understanding of things, it is uncomfortable all of the time. It is really uncomfortable because it's uncomfortable when you learn that you're wrong. You don't want to be, nobody wants to feel like they were wrong about a thing.
Yeah.
But what's funny is we need to try to learn to make that happen, because I would much rather face that uncomfortability of being wrong and then learn from it and grow. And so a huge amount of it is a cultural thing. And even for people who are atheists in the closet, who can't speak out, this is a great thing you can do. Here is a great tool that you can help give people, and that is embrace correction.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is why I research. I'm big on education and research, I may not be a really high educated person, but I do like to read a lot of books and research a lot of things, especially when I don't believe what that person is saying. And I think what initially started my doubt, because I was like a stone cold hard believer. okay?
Sure.
I was getting ready to accept all of the doctrines this church was getting ready to put on my mind, which also included the subservience of women in the church, which I've never been a believer in, ever. I love women, not that way, but I love women because I love the way they stand up for their rights, okay? And they need to do that more often because we are getting screwed every which way. But anyway, the other thing is that I just couldn't believe in the doctrine. And the thing that got me was, and another thing, about a year ago, my husband and I went through this course called Continue. And it is called, it's like an indoctrination into the church because we're disciples now. We've been members for a long time. The church wants us to be a little bit more on the in crowd, I guess. I don't know. But to me, it was like repetition. And by the time we got done with the course, which was 4 months, my brain was like, this is all it is. And it's like, you know how if you've ever, nothing against anybody who's been in Scientology, but if you've ever been in like an audit or anything, or you go through the motions and you finally look at your person after you've gone through the clear stage and say, is this all there is to it? This is it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I looked at my husband and said, we need to get out of here. Because they were definitely quoting a lot of things in there that I did not agree with. And I'm like, I don't believe in this, and that's what changed me. And then I started getting angry because I'm looking around and I'm seeing all the hypocrisy, and I'm looking at everything. And it's like, when you initially get saved and you initially get baptized, total immersion, and you are like in a church with all of these loving, kind people, not loving and kind.
Well, they think they're being. They think they are.
They think they are until you get outside the circle and off the parking lot and outside in the street, and then you see what their true colors are. If I was to pass them on the street or look at them at Walmart, they wouldn't even say hello to me.
Yeah.
Now or then?
Here in Vegas, okay? We've got walls up everywhere. If you go, I know you've been here, Eric, okay? Have you ever been to Summerlin?
I have.
In the northwest part of town. I don't know if you know us that well.
No, I know exactly where Summerlin is.
Okay. Then you know that it's like rats in a maze because there's walls everywhere.
Yeah, and it's like a literal maze, too. It's confusing as hell.
I've been here 45 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yes, Summerlin's actually really nice.
My husband is Christian, okay, just to make this fast. So another thing is you're dealing with a Christian spouse.
Yeah.
And I'm basically an atheist now. He understands this. We've been married for 30 years. You know? It's like, okay, the wife is changing again. Let's go with the flow, you know. But it's not that way. He and I have little discussions. In fact, we have the discussion about me not going to church today, which leads me into the next question. Because you guys saved me, where do I go from here? Who do I get in touch with in Las Vegas?
Ooh, there is an awesome atheist group in Vegas.
Yeah.
I was there over the summer. And
are there seminars I can go to, or, you know?
Give them a shout. They're on Meetup. I met them, and let's see. I think the trip from Summerlin to where we met, I think it'll probably be a 20, 25-minute drive. It's really not that far away where we met. No. Really awesome group. Please check them out. They were incredibly gracious when they hosted me this summer for a meet and greet. And definitely make sure you get in touch with them because I'm going to be in Las Vegas again in July, and I'd love to meet you.
Oh, I know. I would like to meet you too, Eric. Sure would. I don't know if Jamie's coming with you or not, but if you do come, Jamie, I know some great places we can go. Have you ever been to the Mob Museum? The Mob Museum here?
I didn't know they had Las Vegas would be the best place for it.
No, we're going to go to Thunder Down Under.
Sure, but this Mob Museum, excellent.
Yeah, if you want to learn all about the corruption here, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You talk to anybody who's been here.
I'm not sure I've mentioned that on the show. You might just be very perceptive or very lucky, as far as knowing that would pique my interest immensely.
What? The mafia?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I'm not that much of an enigma, but I don't think I mentioned that at one point I just checked out the Encyclopedia of the Mafia.
Let me
and
see,
read
Tony
everyone's-
Spilatro.
Yeah. But this is see, now we're going to go to Vegas together.
Yeah,
Let's go to Vegas, Jamie.
Vegas.
Let's
The guy who had the
let's
startup
tour.
hotel?
Let's tour and do live shows around the United States. How
Let's
about
do
that?
it. Yeah.
And then how about we tour and do live shows around the world? How about that?
I think that
Oh,
would be
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? It's our Patreon support. Or it's our patron support. We're gonna get
Do
there.
it.
It's gonna happen. Just a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time.
Crazy.
Hey, this is how we do it.
One more thing.
What's up?
All right.
One more thing.
One more.
What do you
thing.
got, Caroline?
One more thing. I have one more thing I need to talk to you guys about. That's kind of crazy. I was noticing something else. I was scrolling past my prayer group. I'm not going to say anything about it, but it's like the only thing I will tell you is that this one person was telling the other person, because they have a kid, the other person was giving her advice about Adam and Eve. She says she wanted to know how Adam and Eve grew a human race, basically. Okay, this person told her the first people had better genes because they were less affected by sin, closer
And-
to Adam and Eve's gene pool.
Oh, I heard that one actually.
They
Hold
lived longer, over 100 years, so there were many children. There weren't any set laws against marrying your siblings at that time. They got that from Ken Ham.
Incest. Oh,
Well, they also got that from the text of the Bible. But,
That's
Yeah.
That's woof.
so is that? Sorry, I'm waiting for like the extra one too, because there's like
You're waiting for the other shoe to drop?
Yeah.
The other shoe was I attacked this woman online, and
Okay.
she's part of my church. And I was like, what did I just do? I was like watching Eric grab the mic and like standing. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, that's not what it's about. No,
Yeah.
that's not it. That's not it. And I'm like, I just did that to her, and I got one guy telling me, you need to study street epistemology.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, what is it?
Ooh.
oh, what is street epistemology?
Yeah.
All right, so it is very Googleable, and I think the most prominent, well-known practitioner of street epistemology is a man named Anthony Magnabosco, who actually lives here in Texas in San Antonio. He has his own YouTube channel where he has videos of him talking to it, but basically it's a method that was developed for talking to people about what they believe and why that's more
Socratic.
friendly and direct. It's more clinical is the wrong word, therapeutic is the wrong word, but along those lines, right? So what we do on these shows is in large part for an audience. But if you're talking specifically with an individual person and you want to affect that individual person, it's best to talk about why they believe what they believe, and this approach is often more helpful, right? So I'm not sure if you watch other ACA shows, but Truth Wanted, which is on Fridays, is hosted by Dan, who was one of the parts of his deconversion. One of the key parts was that he talked to Anthony Magnabosco, and Anthony was using street epistemology to prompt him to think about what he believed, and it's a very good method. So the book that in which this method is exclaimed is called A Manual for Creating Atheists by Peter Boghossian. And it really goes in depth. It's very well researched. It has research from, cult deprogrammers and all kinds of cognitive therapy and examination in 25 years of Mr. Boghossian trying it on his own without a YouTube channel, and then Anthony picking up the reins from there. It's very good. There's lots of support groups online of, hey, I want to start doing street epistemology, help me out. And we can definitely help put you in touch with people that practice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I don't like attacking people. I am not I'm not like a, what do you call it? I'm a funny individual sometimes. I take humor, I take situations, try to make humorous, but sometimes that's offensive. So I don't try to do that too often.
Well,
except here, maybe, I don't know.
You know what's funny, Caroline?
This is the right place for
that,
it.
In A Manual for Creating Atheists, Boghossian actually is pretty intense. He is unapologetic about the way he feels about religion and the damage that it does. But at the same time, Anthony's channel and street epistemology as a whole has become this incredibly kind-hearted venture that is just completely, built up this very warm and inviting and compassionate community.
I watched his channel.
Yeah,
I
it's
think I
good.
did.
Dig it.
Yeah.
So I would say look at stuff online, get a copy of the book,
But
this kind of thing.
We've got a few minutes before we've got to get ready for the
advice.
atheist experience.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry to keep you on the line.
No,
it's okay.
we did
You
that.
waited this entire time,
I'm
too.
a talky person.
That's okay.
No.
I really appreciate everything, guys. You guys are the best. I have you still on big screen.
Aw,
Oh,
yay.
fine.
We think you're awesome, too.
yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Bump
So I
it.
will contact you by email, okay?
All right.
So,
All right.
Sounds good.
and tell those people, don't stress, okay? Don't sweat the small stuff. Everything will work itself out.
Yeah.
Just give it some time. Give it some time. And
All
that
right.
Charles dude, whoa.
Yeah.
As a former Wiccan, he needs to really step up on the craft, okay? Because that's
Agreed.
not what he's supposed to be doing,
Gotcha.
especially when he's walking into a haunted house and he has
Carolyn?
no idea.
I love you, lady.
Yeah. Well, we got to get off the line, but we're definitely going to talk to you about former Wiccan stuff. But thanks for calling in
No
again.
problem, you guys. You guys have a great day.
You too.
You too.